Well, what do we think of the new Fringe, everybody? Hello and welcome back to the Sketchpad Pod. I'm Alicia and I was not planning on filming today. Today is just one of those days, you know. It's rainy and miserable out. I have a sore throat and, you know, not to scare anyone, it's not COVID, but I'm just feeling a bit run down and a bit lackluster, to be honest. Which, you know, that's sometimes just how Sundays go. It's a bit of a Sunday mood. I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like the weather really affects my mood as well. But on that note, I just wanted to check in, say hi, how are you doing? And maybe talk a little bit about burnout and my experiences with burnout and how I really want to avoid it, but I have unhealthy, perhaps, tendencies to work myself to exhaustion and then only stop when my body physically makes me stop. So if you can relate, or if you don't really know much about burnout but think it might be relevant to you, keep watching. And if you like these types of videos, don't forget to let me know down in the comments and give this video a like. That would be super helpful. So yeah, I mean, burnout to me is where you literally just lose that motivation and that capacity to do your day-to-day activities and your creative passions. It can literally be that you just feel like everything is draining and taking up way more energy than it normally does. Burnout is not the same as depression or anxiety, but you know, it can make you feel really tired and mentally drained. It can be hard to get out of bed in the mornings. It can mess up your sleeping pattern. It can make you not want to be as sociable, and basically it happens after a build-up of stress or a big busy period in work, you know, where you're basically pushing yourself to the limits of your mental and physical capacity until your body literally makes you stop. That is how I understand burnout. Now, I'm not a doctor, I'm not even a med student, so definitely go and look up definitions and go and talk to your doctor about it if you are suffering from severe burnout. But I think a lot of us get this feeling from time to time, and I think as students we're especially susceptible to it because we have, you know, really tight deadlines and busy schedules that can happen at certain points in the year, especially if you are a third year student. So, you know, sending love to all my fellow third year students, because they're not joking when they say it is a lot of work. But also, it's not just the workload, it's the expectations, I think, on third year students. I talked in my last video about this, about what I'm going to do after graduation, and that is a really big fear, and one that is propagated by people asking, so what are you going to do? What are you doing after graduation? Do you know what you want to do with your life? And how are you working towards that now? So that can really pile on and make you feel like you're not doing enough or being enough and creating enough. Yeah, just your general productivity culture. And I think I knew that I was going to have a really busy week this week. It just ended up being like that. I used to say that I was an introvert, but my friends think I'm an extrovert. I think I'm potentially somewhere in the middle. I do get energy from seeing other people, and it's important that I don't just shield myself off, but also I think if I do too much of it, then I just feel really drained and tired. I also think though part of it is like this idea of being productive in all aspects of your life and having everything balanced out. Being like, no, I'm not just going to boss at my job. I'm not just going to boss at uni. I'm also going to boss at my social life. I'm also going to boss at exercise. And the girl boss energy can be really toxic, as I'm sure some of you guys know. But in general, not just girl boss, but boss energy, productivity, I don't think it's just limited to your work life. It can also impact your social life. And I think sometimes when I cram lots of things in, it means that I'm already thinking about the next thing, the next task that I have to do, and I'm less in the moment. And that's a shame because, you know, some of the things and the projects I have going on, I'm really, really excited about and really glad to be doing. But I think I let my fears get in the way, and I don't just live in the moment as much as I'd like to. And I've had more major points of burnout before, and I know that if I keep going the route I'm going, it will affect my mental health and my physical health. I think our bodies can really actually tell us a lot about what's going on up here, and sometimes we just push through and we've lost that intuitive connection between, you know, mind and body and mind and soul. I tend to listen to meditations before I go to bed, and when I started listening to them, they were really soothing and would help me get to sleep like that. And I was really dedicated about following along with the meditation and staying in the moment. But the more I've done them, the more I am aware of what is coming next in the meditation, and the more I know the structure of it. And that seems to then mean that my mind is desensitized to it, and I find myself just thinking about other things and then realising that the meditation is finished and I am still wide awake. But I still listen to them because I feel like maybe somewhere in my subconscious the meditation is like a sign that I need to be going to sleep. I used to do yoga and I've got out of doing yoga. I do dance, and that is really great. I think dance is perhaps the only time in the week where for an hour I'm completely in the present moment and not thinking about what I have to do next or where I have to be next. I'm just focusing on the exercise, focusing on the choreo and getting the moves. So that is really important to me, and I feel like I should be leaning into those things, but I'm scared about missing out on opportunities and not being prepared for the future. I don't want the future to just be, you know, me having a spiral where I'm completely burnt out and where my mental health suffers and where I can't just enjoy the day-to-day things. And that's why it is potentially important to pace myself. Future Alicia, pace yourself. I think the other thing I wanted to mention was that in terms of the art that I make, I think because it is very self-reflective, self-analytical, and looks at very personal subject matter, that can also, I think, lead to feeling quite drained, because you're always, you know, putting yourself on the hot seat, or you're always analysing yourself your moods, your motivations, your relationships, and translating that into work. The point of doing it to begin with is that making personal work is meant to be cathartic, and also I feel like making personal or vulnerable work hopefully then speaks to other people. But when you're in the cycle of productivity for uni assignments, or might be your work assignments, whatever, when the type of work you're in or the type of things you're creating becomes a commodity, and that commodity is yourself or your personal life, that can present its own challenges. So it's just trying to find new avenues. Where can I set boundaries, and how am I connecting with others and connecting with my audience in a way that isn't negatively affecting me and hopefully positively affecting them. So yeah, I guess that's my update. That's what I'm thinking about going into this next week. Always really nice to hear your thoughts on these things. Stay safe, stay well, try and check in with yourself once in a while this week, and I will see you when I see you. Okay.